In case no one's done it for you, let's have the sexy, unsexy student loan talk. And as someone who has student loans that he'll probably be paying for well into when he's in a nursing home, I think I can tell you a couple of things. Let me tell you what's sexy about student loans. In most instances, filling out forms for student loans is a little cumbersome. But if you find yourself in a position where you don't have scholarships, you don't have grants, and you don't have a wealthy parent who can pay for all of your education, student loans seems like the jam. I mean, literally. I will tell you, I used student loans, a portion to put me through undergrad. I also used it to take care of paying for law school. But here's the unsexy part. And the part that people don't talk to you about is the fact that, man, it feels like it can last forever. You don't know. It's like, good Lord. Like I always tell people, I said, listen, I have my wife and then I have my mistress. And my mistress is Sally Mae. Listen, she's going to get her time. She's going to get her money and she will cause havoc if we don't get right. All right. So let me explain to you a few things that you need to be mindful of when you're having the student loan talk with your loved ones, or even when you're thinking yourself. First, be real here. This is a loan that you're going to pay back. You have no choice in this matter. If you're getting a federal student loan, they're going to get their money back, whether it be through your taxes or garnishing stuff if you go into default. So when you're analyzing whether you should take a student loan out, ask yourself, is there any other avenues that you can explore? Whether it be scholarships, whether it be going to another type of university that may be offering you some money. Maybe it's a college work study situation. Maybe you go part-time and so forth. I know some of you are like, man, that's like the long route. Why I got to go through all that? I said, well, unless you're okay or you have a strategy in place for how you're going to pay off that debt, then by all means, if you can do it, you can roll like that, roll like that. Now, a couple of things that you need to be mindful of. If you go to school and you start school and you got a student loan and halfway through you give up, you still owe somebody some money. So keep that thought in the back of your mind when you're getting a student loan in terms of how you're committed towards putting that student loan to use. Now, let's talk about what happens when you're done with school and it comes time to be funky. A few things that you need to be mindful. Look at the payment rates. Look at the interest rates. Look at how long you've got to pay it. It's sexy if you're only paying $50 to $100 a month for your student loan. And you're like, that's not so bad. Yeah, until you see it's like 30 years to pay that thing off. And you're like, what the? And let me tell you, we all say it. We all say, I'll double up on it. No, you won't. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to start, other things will get in the way. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but trust me, if you got something that's shaking and you're like, well, I got the money to cover the monthly amount, that's all I'm good for. Just know you're going to be paying for that thing a long time. Also, if you get into some tough crunches, forbearances and deferments are awesome. Ask about the interest. Ask about the interest. You want to make sure that your debt is not growing on those months you're not paying. Now, some of those deferments, the interest doesn't pay, it stops. Most of your forbearances, that thing keeps on going. And you're saying, like, what do you mean? What's the difference between a deferment and a forbearance? Okay. In essence, both do the same thing in terms of it gives you the period of time where you don't have to make a payment on the loan. The problem is the financial consequences are different. And sometimes the circumstances are different. Like you may have a deferment, sometimes there's a deferment on your loans if you go back to school. Let's say you go back to school and you're paying for the school yourself. You may have an educational deferment. There may be a military deferment if you're going overseas. It just all depends. Forbearance may be different. It may be an economic hardship forbearance. Maybe you lost your job, things of that nature. Pay close attention to which you are responsible for paying back for those particular purposes. Do everything possible to avoid default. People, I cannot tell you how bad defaulting on your loan will jack up your credit. I know some of you, I don't want to worry about the credit thing. You will at some point. And let me tell you, there's a lot of things you can clean up. You can clean up a credit card debt. You can clean up a debt you owe to a business. You can clean up a debt maybe for a car. Some of those, even a foreclosure you can clean up. Trust when I tell you, you do not want that default on your student loan if you can possibly help it. Okay? And the best thing I always tell people is this. They want you to pay them back. It is really not in their best interest to have to go through the headache, especially if you get a federal student loan, to find you in default, start garnishing, start coming after you. And sometimes the other legal remedies like bankruptcy and stuff, those things aren't necessarily available to you. They don't want to have to run you down for their money. So, big thing is this. Because a lot of people don't do it. I'll tell you, when I was an undergrad, I was 17, and even when I was in my 20s and I was going back to law school, I didn't think about it. When you are making your mission, and part of your life mission includes going back to school, make sure you take the time to think about what role you want your student loan to be if you choose to go that route. Trust me, there ain't nothing cool about sitting on the front porch of a nursing home with some lemonade, still making student loan payments.